What's up, guys? I just wanted to throw a video out. Maybe not too much editing because I have other ideas planned. So far, it's been about 2.5 weeks since the finals dropped, and overall, I enjoy my time with it. I think the gameplay loop is fun, tournaments are addicting, and striving for a qualification is cool. But the imbalance in classes, and I think everyone can share in my experience, is classes are more than just a little overtuned. Some classes at least. Of course, I'm talking about the heavy and its kits and the double heavy or even some triple heavy comps that I've seen. I think how I'm going to do this list is talk about some of the kits and weapons, just anything that I find really broken, and then talk about changes in between them. I don't want this to be a super negative video. It might be a little hard, but I do think some of the changes are super necessary. The fact that something hasn't happened sooner is somewhat concerning. As always, I look forward to any discussion in the comments regarding changes for the heavy or for the game in general. If that sounds good, then let's begin. We can start with the weapons the heavy has. Overall, I think this is the best balanced part of his kit. There is, however, one shining star above the rest, and everyone knows it's the shotgun. Though compared to the rest of the items in his kit, I don't think it stands out all that much. It is a very consistent 2 to 3 shot and could one quote unquote twirl a heavy if you land all 4 shots in the chest or head. I think the gun is good, obviously, but so are a lot of the other shotguns in other games, and even this game. Truly, I believe that it stands on the same level as the other shotguns in medium and light. But people choose to drop those for other guns in favor of the better ones. Heavies don't really have that option besides the LMGs. I'm not saying they aren't bad, but compared to other classes with their other options, heavies get kinda screwed. Honestly, there isn't a whole lot to change for it. You can make each spin of the gun 3 shots instead of 4, so one clipping another heavy is practically impossible. Or you could make the bloom, give it bloom, or just make the spread a little more random and not a consistent figure 8. I don't know. I'd love to hear any other options for it. Let's move on to the real kit of the heavy. Starting with the RPG, this item is the bane of all lights who queue into heavies or just play them. It does 180 impact and consistently, for me at least, 120 to 150 damage in the tight radius, even nearby radius. This makes the RPG less, if not any, utility, which, number one, I think it really hurts the viability for the heavy, because you have, it's a must take. You will almost never see a heavy who isn't running one, because it's just so good. It starts fights, it finishes a fight, it helps you 1v3 in the most obscene scenarios, or you could even just poke. You could just be the bane of someone's existence, just being far range, or just having height on them. Even though from range it is a little harder because it just has bloom and how inaccurate it is, it still doesn't take away from the fact that it's not a utility item. It's just a weapon, which I think is so weird for it to be in a cooldown slot. With its damage, heavies, like I said, are not using it for utility, because putting it on cooldown before a fight means you are most likely going to just lose the fight. Because if you're going up against a double heavy or a heavy who has theirs off cooldown, you are bound to lose the fight. I'm not saying it's a win button. Nothing in the game I think is, but it is just too good to be in a cooldown slot, especially when you have a shotgun to follow up. That's where the shotgun I think really shines. I think alone it's not that good, but the RPG and combo, it's the best combo in the game, I think, for any class, other than stun gun and shotgun for a light. Changes for the RPG make it do more damage to structures than it does to people. I think the fact of 180 damage is absurd. I think it should honestly be cut in half. I think giving a heavy 90 damage and then giving it like some knockback so you could use it as like a disengage works way better than just 180 flat, 150 flat, because it's stupid to one shot a light. You just take them out of the game in an instant. There's no counterplay for a light with a projectile that big. I think with the changes I listed, the heavy RPG specifically will become less popular for sure, but I think it will still be used for utility and could be even swapped out for C4s. And we will talk about C4s later because those are kind of mind-blowing at the moment. And you know, it would give the heavy more breathing room for what it wants to be and who you can choose and run it as a comp instead of having to lose a slot instantly because you need fucking RPG. You just have to have one or you're at just the biggest disadvantage going up against any other team comp. Next on our list we have is the C4. Unsurprisingly, these have taken over the heavy meta the past 2.5 weeks, which is just because of the absurd damage they do and their ability to lock down cash outs. I think the use of them is clever, with people attaching them on barrels and chucking them at people. Like, I feel like that was something the devs envisioned day one, which I think it's cool. It's cool synergy. But the damage just feels absurd. It alone does 239 to 250 damage if they both go off in close vicinity, because you usually have two of them down, detonated by the user or not. They be attached to barrels, like I said, and other explosives to have more damage. I know I have been one-shot by them before because they put them on the red barrels or the flame barrels or the gas barrels, and it doesn't matter even if they detonate them. If I shoot the barrel, it's gonna explode either way. There's no counterplay. I'm gonna get hit by it. Accompanied with the RPG, the setup and the synergy it's ungodly, because even if it doesn't kill us, it's still 250 damage if it goes off, plus either like gas ticks, flame ticks, or just another explosive. You can finish this off because you have a 180 RPG in your inventory just waiting to be used. And if it's off cooldown, you can rush with a shotgun or anything like that. You can follow up so easily. And I think this combo really puts in perspective like how bad the combo is, because like stuff alone isn't that bad when you talk about it. Like C4s, they're pretty alright, but you have to put them on something. When you have them stand alone on a cash out, if you die, like if a team wipes you and goes for a steal, they're useless, absolutely. Or if they have glitch nades, they're useless. But if you combo it with an RPG, or you just throw them on a door and wait, and you just instantly pull out your RPG and rush, it's a free kill. There's been so many fights where I'm just absolutely destroyed off of 30 seconds in the game because I'm on a rooftop and I just don't. I try to pick a fight. I don't even see the barrel and I'm just dead. Like, I think the damage is just so overtuned. I don't think there's anything else to really change about it other than the damage. There's no other changes I could see other than the damage with it. One thing I could get behind is giving every class the ability to use glitch nades and have glitch nades over it, because I think there's just so much utility in the game that it's starting to become a little bit, in my eyes, a little bit like Siege. Rainbow Six Siege, that is. Even though it's not the exact same, like it's definitely not tactical, but it is a util dump of a game with gas mines, pyro mines, explosive mines, pyro nades, gas nades, normal nades, fucking C4, RPGs, domes all over the place, shields, everything, heal guns. Like, there's just so much utility in the game. I think there should be some way that any class so you can run double medium and heavy and not really have to worry about having a light just for glitch nades. Which I can see the argument that it would make lights a little more useless, but lights I don't think will ever be a competitively sound class. Last thing is the domes. This is kind of like a nitpick almost, and I think the change wouldn't actually be all that different, but I think having a dome shield as a util instead of just making it another specialization would be better for the heavy and make it more of a heavy, because number one, I think having the goo gun as a specialization and not a util or a gadget, is such a waste of a specialization. I think giving them two different shields to choose from. You can either have the Reinhardt one that has more HP, that has a bigger radius and covers for your teammates but takes you out the fight, or you can have the dome shield, which is a little more selfish but make it maybe a little bigger of a dome, or change how the dome works in some way and just give it a little more HP, I think would be better. And then just having like a goo gun if someone wants to run it, because I think the goo gun is absolutely useless as a specialization. I don't think I've ever seen anyone run it. I think the only time I have is when they wanted to use the skins in the battle pass, which that should not be the inclination to want to play goo gun on heavy. So I think changing up the domes, putting the dome shield in specialization, I'd be happy with that, because I'd probably take that over. And then I think changing how dome works with that in general, I think no matter the dome, you should be able to get in the middle and shoot out of it. Like, even if it's an enemy dome, so you can actually play for like dome steals and have like a little more, there's an outskill component to it, because if you're able to push them out of the dome, you can just hold them out the dome, and that they lose their dome, that's their fault, that they didn't even try to like fight you for it. Like, it should be their fault. But now it's like, it doesn't matter, because if you get into their dome, they're gonna just shoot you through it, and they're outside the dome, and now you can't shoot them. I think it does give you a little personal skill. Like, if they are fighting your dome, you can definitely ride the edges of it and like, bait them going in and out of it while you can shoot them. But I think it's so weird when that's like the only dome and everyone's just at an open disadvantage fighting a dome. Like, I really enjoy the way Gibby's dome worked in Apex, and I know in this game it would not be that good of a dome if it was like no shooting in or out. But I think if you were to allow it that every person could shoot out of it if they got in your dome, and even you could not even shoot into your own dome, I think it would be a lot better for the game. I think that's a change that would be a lot better, in my opinion. That being said, that's all I have today. If you disagree with any of these, or you think there's even more changes, please let me know. Like you said, I really want to look forward to any sort of discussions in the comments. And I should have some videos out soon. See ya.